What's going on, everybody? Mortem here, this time bringing you a little bit of a channel update for the next couple of months. Also, sorry if I sound a little bit weird. I've had a sore throat the past couple of days, but either way, it is looking like the next couple of months for me specifically and everything I want to get done review-wise is going to be very, very busy through probably at least the first week or so of October. And so I wanted to put out this video just kind of going over how all of that is going to work and everything, as my schedule is certainly about to change a little bit. But to give a little bit of background there, as many people are certainly aware, as I've already made an update video talking about it, and this is more logistical in nature. So I will actually put a link to that video down in the description below if you want like the full details. But long story short is that I am starting college this year at the ripe old age of 33, as it was not something I was really able to do when I graduated high school. But YouTube has been doing very well for me as a full-time job these past 5 years, and I would like to continue to get better at it, alongside numerous other reasons for me choosing to do this that, again, I go over all in that video. However, that time is finally upon us. Those classes start August 19th, so just a couple weeks away. But since I made that initial video in April, and now we've also had every gaming company out there decide that September is the time for their release dates. Which, to be fair, makes sense. If you're in the video game review business, like September until about mid-December are really like the busy season for video game reviews. Everything really big releases right then, usually all clumped together. Though quite this many is a little unusual, so sort of tightly grouped together, and that's before we even get to Gamescom potentially giving us other release dates. But for right now, I basically want to go over how I would like this to go, the sort of tentative plan for all of these things, and then after that we'll go sort of game by game and talk about my priorities in terms of what I'll be covering first and like as quickly as I can, etc. So as I said, my classes start August 19th, though I don't expect that to have much of an impact on what I'm doing day to day until probably when Star Wars Zero Company releases on the 27th, so about a week after that. Now, as a result of all this, I really don't expect to be able to take all these classes and also put a video out every single day, as you would probably imagine, and so my game plan from there is to focus on the reviews specifically, as that is the primary thing people watch me for. Now, this is still going to be my full-time job, and I'm going to be, of course, trying to get all that stuff done as well as I can, but as a result, yeah, probably not going to be uploading 7 days a week at that point, and I'll be focusing on, like first impressions into reviews and anything important that comes up. And anything beyond that will simply be a little less important, but if I can get it done, I'll do it. However, I expect that to primarily be the case from the end of August to about the first week of October, and the reason for that is just all of these releases happening all at once, yes, but also because that's when my schedule will actually start getting lighter again. A couple of my classes don't run the full semester. One of them ends at the beginning of October, another one ends at the beginning of November, and then that combined with release dates slacking off, I should actually be back to a more or less normal schedule by roughly mid-October, I would imagine. Provided everything goes well, of course. So long story short, probably won't be uploading 7 days a week, but I'll still be focused on the most important stuff, the impressions, the reviews, etc. for upcoming releases, and hopefully that'll chill out a bit around mid-October, and I imagine the spring semester will probably be just much less of a headache overall, simply because there is honestly just less going on in the video game world in the first few months of the year. Because as I already stated, the busy season is usually September through December. But next up, for the rest of this video, I want to simply talk about what my actual priorities are, what I'll be focusing on in terms of like specific game releases, etc. Now, even between now and August 19th, there's actually a lot going on that should thankfully be unaffected by any of this. We've got DLCs, some early access stuff I want to take a look at, and a couple of actual game releases. So starting with the DLCs, Stalker 2 and Nioh 3 are both getting a DLC relatively soon. Nioh 3 has a DLC releasing on the 19th, the Stalker 2 has one releasing right on the 20th. I'll more than likely have these done before those classes really get moving, so I'm not super worried about those. We also have a couple early access titles over the next couple of weeks. In particular, we got Expeditions Samurai coming up on the 7th. I really loved Expeditions Rome, so I'm hoping this is a cool game, but there's some questionable things about it that we'll simply have to see how it lands, and I'll be able to easily cover that one, no problem. And then there's also Entropy, a very odd upcoming game. I really liked what that developer did with Dread Delusion, their previous game, and that enters early access on August 18th, and that's another situation where I'll just easily be able to take a look at that in like a day or so, so no big deal at all. Now, in terms of full game releases in the next couple of weeks, we've got 3 that I've got my eye on. Beast of Reincarnation, that releases just here in a couple of days, so that obviously won't be affected. The Sinking City 2, the upcoming sequel to The Sinking City, that's a bit of a genre shift into proper survival horror, which I was a little interested in when I took a look at it originally. This is actually releasing in full on August 18th, and those types of games are typically not very long, and this is also from a smaller developer as well, so my hope is to get this one relatively quickly knocked out. And then that is followed by Mortal Shell 2 on August 20th. This one, I think it really just comes down to whether or not I get a review key for it. If I get a review key for Mortal Shell 2, I imagine I'll probably get it done without too much of a fuss, but if I have to wait until release day, then it might be a little bit of a problem. And that is mostly because the real trouble starts after this, which is to say on August 27th, once Star Wars Zero Company, that upcoming TRPG, releases on the 27th. Now, this isn't a bad release day or anything. I sincerely hope I get a review key for this one. No idea if I will or not. But the issue there is that those types of games tend to be kind of time sinks. They can eat up a lot of time very, very quickly, and I'm going to have less of that, which is then going to become more of a problem when good games start releasing very, very quickly. The Blood of Dawnwalker releases on September 2nd. Onimusha, Way of the Sword releases on September 3rd. 2 weeks later, Trails in the Sky second chapter releases on the 17th, and a week after that, Control Resonant releases on September 24th. Those are the main things I've got my eye on for September, and while there are plenty of more releases coming, and Gamescom will also be happening at the end of August, and we'll likely get some release dates there as well, some of this is still in flux at the end of the day. But I wanted to talk kind of priorities here until October at least. So Star Wars Zero Company is a big one to me personally. I want to get that done, but juggling that and the Blood of Dawnwalker is going to be the challenging part. I'm going to be real with you guys. I like Onimusha from what I've played of that one as well, but realistically, of those games, it's the less important one, and it will be the one that I push farther out. My hope, if everything goes super well according to plan and I don't get absolutely bogged down in nonsense, I will have Zero Company, the Blood of Dawnwalker, and Onimusha all done before September 17th when Trails in the Sky second chapter drops. That one's going to take me a while. I know it's going to take me a while because the first one took me a while. And it's another situation where just a week later we get the release of Control Resonant. Of those two games, I'm going to prioritize Control Resonant because that's the true new release. Trails in the Sky second chapter is very cool, and I really enjoyed the first one, but it is also ultimately a remake of a game that is already out, and I haven't played all the Trails games either, so I'm a little more comfortable pushing that one out a little farther until I can get Resonant done, which as an action-oriented, like sort of odd RPG that Remedy tends to make, they are not usually as intense time-wise, so I could realistically get that done before refocusing on Trails, is at least my current line of thinking. How that actually pans out, of course, is anybody's guess. But if I can make it through all of that, things should return back to a layer of normalcy until, probably like February or so, when things start getting super busy again. As of right now, October has a few games releasing, 3 in particular that I'm interested in taking a look at, but they're pretty well spaced apart. And November and December are pretty devoid of release dates, and so I'm hoping the stuff we get from Gamescom winds up being November, December releases, which would certainly make my life a little easier. But at that point, again, I imagine things will ease up a little bit, but even then I'll still be playing it all by ear, as this is a little new to me as well, and that's really why I made this video to begin with. I just kind of wanted to be upfront with people about what this was going to look like and how I hope it pans out, but obviously we shall see how it goes. But like I said, this is still my full-time job. I'll still be doing this. Even when the day comes that this is no longer my full-time job, I'll still be playing and probably reviewing games just a little more casually. But I just wanted to be upfront with people about what that schedule looks like for the next couple of months, and so it might take me a slight bit longer than normal, but they will get done. And hopefully you guys are excited to play some of those games as much as I am. But that is pretty much all this video is meant to be, so hopefully that was useful for you and kind of gave you an idea of what I'm looking forward to and kind of gave you the outline for the next couple of months. Either way though, let me know how you feel about all that down in the comment section below, which of course means to like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube jazz. But regardless of any of that, truly just thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. May you wander in wisdom and have an amazing day.